What's going on, ScreenRant? Welcome to South by Southwest. I'm Liam Crowley, and I am here with the cast of Sweetness. Guys, thanks so much for stopping by.
For having us.
Hi.
Thank you.
Very excited to dissect this film. Wow, did it take me for a spin. I want to ask you all, group question off the top. Who's an artist that you're like unhealthily obsessed with? Do you have someone, not to this degree of sweetness, but someone who like you got the posters in the wall every year on your Spotify Wrapped, they're always the top. Who's that artist?
This is so guys.
Great question.
I was going to say Sir Ian McKellen up to the point where you said posters on the wall. I'm like, I don't have posters on the wall.
No, let's
Sir
tell the
Ian.
story that you have Ian McKellen posters on your wall because I think that's really strong.
All right, yeah. Sir Ian McKellen then.
Anyone else?
For me, it was growing up. I had a lot of like girls on my wall. It was like Sinead O'Connor. It was Courtney Love. I think I was more inspired by the character that she plays, the unhinged girlies, than I was the pop stars.
Bjork for me.
Nice.
In my washroom downstairs, I have all of her albums framed, just throughout the years, all of her different albums. And so if she were to ever come to my house, it'd be unsettling for her, but good for me.
Justin, I see you thinking.
I actually had a Scandinavian on my wall. It was it was Terje Hakensen. Do you know who that is?
Terje Håkonsen.
Yeah.
Just had to say it in Norwegian.
Well, that's how we said it in Canada. You know,
Really?
You know Terje Hakensen?
Terje?
Yeah.
Okay, sick.
And I was a skateboarder, snowboarder. He was the greatest snowboarder of our time. So that was my obsession.
That's an epic one. Aya?
I think for me, it's Mitski. I'm
Nice.
obsessed with Mitski. She goes through all my breakups and emotional turmoil with me. So her, definitely.
Kate?
I gotta go with Phoebe Bridgers.
Nice.
Every song is everything I need. all the
My
time.
one, this is really random. The Beatles. I was indoctrinated to listen to the Beatles when I was a kid because my uncles burned all their songs into my iPod and I had no choice. Like it was just all Beatles.
It was just Beatles.
I was 5 years old. I was like, I love the Beatles. And then I like grew a more diverse music taste as the years went on. I want to talk about this film specifically, the story. Emma, where did this all come from?
I used to make music videos, so I was really around the music scene a lot, and I just wanted to make something that was kind of a different take on the fan thing. But yeah, it was from being around musicians for a decade.
And I was thrilled too to hear an operatic cover of Juice WRLD in this project. Was that your decision?
Thank you for noticing.
Yeah, no, I heard the lyrics. I was like, is this Hurt Me from Goodbye and Good Riddance?
Yes, it is. We did 2 covers in the film. All the songs are original that we did for the film. That's Herman singing all of the songs that he did in there. And then we had a couple covers. One was guys, it's Juice WRLD, but it's like very, very serious and operatic, sung by like a choir.
Whoa. Okay.
That would have been a better answer to the first question because I actually have a lot of Juice WRLD posters still in my room to this day. A little bit more artists, but yeah. Who said the breakup? The breakup artist? Yeah, Juice WRLD gets me through some shit.
Yeah.
Some stuff. That was also a question I had for you, Herman. The lyrics of Floor Plan's music
Yes.
really give a detailed backstory of to who he is and kind of almost predicts his trajectory in this film. Did you kind of start to understand Peyton more as a character through the lyrics that he was singing?
Yes, kind of. I mean, I don't know exactly when the lyrics were written in the process, but Martin did. We went back and forth a little bit with our composer. Went back and forth a bit about with the lyrics and trying to piece it all together. And yeah, I think it was established very early on that all the songs will reflect him in some sort of way. So I used them a little bit, but yeah. That's a terrible answer, but that's my answer at least.
No, the one on the piano for sure. I feel like that kind of, if you listen to those lyrics and knowing how this film ends, you can kind of see how things go.
Yeah.
Kate, this is your biggest role to date. You have a couple projects in your catalog so far, but you're leading this film. Like this film rests on your shoulders. What did that on-set responsibility feel like?
It was really intimidating when I first started working on the script, but I really tried to just keep my head down and put in as much effort as I physically could. And everyone was just really easygoing and really supportive. And like Amanda and Justin were really lovely to learn from and just get to watch. So it got very easy very quickly with all of these guys.
Yeah, a lot of great leadership on set. Justin, you play Dad in this film. it's a tough position to be in, being that helicopter, not helicopter parent, completely anti-helicopter parent. But when we see the perspective of what Riley's going through, there's every reason to be a helicopter parent, but you're not in the room when that's happening. How do you kind of ride that line of like when to encroach, when to not? She's the one who's like, my day's fine, leave me alone, shut the door. Like how do you approach that as a father, playing a father in this movie?
Well, I think the root of this dysfunctional teenager is dad issues. And so even though a lot of people are like grow up thinking, oh, I had great parents, my parents were all around, but Ron in this, what I liked about, first off, I loved the script. Like that's why I wanted to do it. It was so beautifully written, and it's hard to come across a great film like this. But the thing that I wanted to play was like a parent being there, but not really being there, but not attuning, being there, but not really knowing, so kind of riding that line between like, I'm doing the things I'm supposed to do as a dad, but I'm not really doing the things that I'm supposed to do as a dad that attunes and creates a healthy daughter.
And Marnie, I feel like, kind of plays a role in maybe bridging that relationship a little bit. It seems like, Amanda, your character wants the father and daughter to be a little bit closer, but doesn't know if it's her place to kind of push that button. What can you kind of talk about that kind of character dynamic?
The same. I was really attracted to the script, loved the script, really desperately wanted to work with Kate and Emma. But the whole idea of a stepmother thing, my partner, he's a stepfather, and he's a wonderful stepfather. And I think that step parents, they don't really get a lot of love. They're either like really evil or really good. Marnie's one of the really good ones. But I think it's ultimately just walking into a family and seeing a gap. She's not as close, she's not as triggered by either relationship, and so she sees a gap and wants to do her best to try to bridge them together. And I feel like Marnie, in not having kids, doesn't realize how difficult that is. You can't just waltz in and say, hey girl, I'm going to cut your hair and everything will be good. And so she has the best intentions but doesn't really succeed. Doesn't succeed at all because of this one, but has great intentions.
No. Yeah, no spoilers, of course. But this film does have a little bit of an ambiguous ending, I would say, just based on what characters know certain information. Justin, that's something you're not a stranger to. In Shameless, the way Shameless wrapped up, your character still has some questions. How do you interpret the ending of Shameless for your character?
Oh, how do I interpret the ending?
How your character's
Well, it
trajectory
was like
wrapped
an unhinged it was an unhinged romance, right? And sometimes those people that you have the most deepest, toxic love for, you need to walk away from just to live your life and go on. And so for me, that was the story that kind of Wells was telling with that, was like, sometimes you got to push away from the thing that feels the best, I think Jimmy Steve's out there somewhere.
Good to know. Good to know for all of our Shameless fans out there. I'll wrap with this. The most unrealistic part of this movie is how easily you get to barricade in this concert. Do you know what I mean by that?
Oh,
You
yeah.
arrive 2 minutes before the set, and then
Pushing my way
you're
through.
already there.
Yeah.
And I have arrived 3 hours before a set, and I'm still at the back.
Yeah, I
How'd you
mean,
do it?
I fully believe that Sydney would be pulling girls' hair, like getting all the way to the front the way she can, So, yeah. I mean, she has really good company for that, so yeah.
Very much so. Sydney's a great friend to Riley in this movie. Can you kind of tell me about developing that dynamic? Because Riley, it breaks my heart when she's like walking through school and people are treating her like an outcast. That's all I'm gonna say. I was gonna say another thing, but it would hint at character trajectories. Can you tell me a little bit about Sydney and Riley's dynamic?
Yeah, I mean, it was really easy to form that like dynamic and that relationship with Kate since, as soon as we met each other, like I think once we were confirmed both casts, we reached out to each other over FaceTime to kind of talk about things and just put a face to the characters. And again, it's natural because Kate is awesome and we just really naturally got along. I think in terms of their relationship, yeah, Sydney can be a good friend, but at times she can be a bit vacant in her own kind of world, being a little kind of sometimes motivated in her own like self, but she at the end of the day kind of sees what's happening with Riley, and she has her back. But
She sees the truth.
Yeah, she does see the truth.
I have so many more spoiler questions I'd love to ask, but I want people to experience this movie the way I got to experience this movie. So I'll leave it there. Guys, you should all be very proud. Sweetness is an absolute achievement. I hope you all have a great South by.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.